one of the keynote speakers, is coming. So sorry, waiting for him. So enjoy today. This is the second day. So we have an amazing agenda for all of the day. So we hope that you enjoy with all of people that's here. For the participant, please, take the opportunity to have any different meeting with all of the keynote speakers, that's academic and professional, because they are moving around here. We have Tom there, we have Brian, also with me, Carlos. So all of them, they are stay here. So gives the opportunity to have a different meets outside, in the coffee. We have 2 days, 2 different activities in terms of gastronomy. We have a coffee with kilometer zero, so products from here, from Tenerife. And for the lunch, we have a surprise. We have a Michelin, lunch with a, cooker that's coming from the south of the island. He's in a hotel, so today he is going to have a Michelin lunch, offered, showing different products and different dishes of the Canaries. So it's an amazing activity. So I hope that all of you will be here. So please stay in the building, okay? We start today also, with the academic session. Yesterday we have a big day with all of the professionals. But today, all of the academics coming. So we start at the same time, the professional and academic, after the B2B session. So for the academic, we have different parallel sessions outside in another room that's called Salón de Grados, and the polyvalentes are there. So there are 2 or 3 different staff, with a purple t-shirt. So follow them, because they know where is all of the rooms. So take the program. If your session is here or there, so follow them. Okay. So welcome to the faculty again today. Amazing for you, and I hope that nightlife of La Laguna was amazing also yesterday. So welcome again. Waiting. So I'm going to introduce the session as coming. Okay, let's go. Don't worry, Jacques. So thank you very much, Jacques. I'm going to introduce both. Over there, Carlos. Carlos Flavian is a full professor of marketing of the University of Zaragoza. Is probably one of the guru of metaverse, so he knows a lot of people things about the the metaverse, different things about the technology. So it's an amazing person in terms of that. Close to me, we have Jacques Bulchand. It's also full professor of business in the University of Las Palmas of Gran Canaria. He's our neighbor, and actually, he is the president of IFTT, that's International Federation of Tourism Technology. So for us, it's too happy to share with him. I'm both here in this meeting or this session. So we are going to discuss about what the future in terms of digitalization, digital transformation, marketing, digital marketing, Okay, so you're welcome, Jacques, Carlos. Carlos, go ahead, and thank you to be here.
Thank you very much. So it's, first of all, I just would like to highlight so happy I am, so delighted I am to be taking part of this excellent activity, not only from academic business perspective, but also the possibilities of interaction provided by the organizers. I really appreciate this nice invitation. So I would like to focus my attention inside the digital transformation. I would like to highlight how do I think, how do I expect that they are changing the relationship between the customers and the tourists and the companies. Okay, so first of all, let me start saying by something important is changing. We can perfectly see nowadays. So it is evident that many important things are changing. So let me tell you that some companies, such as Uber, is the most important company in taxis, and they do not have any taxi. Some other companies, such as Airbnb, is the most important company in hospitality, and they do not have in propriety hotels, or most part of the business activities that they are provided by them, they are not owned by them. Okay, so everything is changing. So quite probably behind these there are some ideas in relation that we need to reduce the consumption. We need to share everything that we have. I remember that when I was younger, so a good present was a record. Okay, who is going to buy a record nowadays? We do not buy any more movies, we do not buy any more books because we have in Amazon, in Netflix. Everything is changing. We are selling the bikes, we are selling the cars, we are starting to sell the cars, we are selling the apartments, we are selling everything. So something important is changing. All those changes are highlighting us that definitely we are in a new industrial revolution. So we pass for the first industrial revolution related to the coal, related to the electricity, related to the computer, it was the third, so we are involved now in the fourth industrial revolution, that it is the time of artificial intelligence, that it is the time of immersive technologies, blockchains, big data, and so on. This will be changed very, very substantially, the way in which we relate ourselves with the customers, the way in which we relate ourselves with the clients. So definitely the tourism is one of the most affected sectors. So I would like to focus in this presentation the attention on the possibilities of immersive technologies, because I believe that immersive technologies can change very significantly the way in which we establish the relations with the customers. Okay, so they allow us better experience, they allow us more dynamic experiences, more autonomous experience. Definitely, all this provides more added value. Okay, so let me just talk you about the different realities provided by this kind of technologies. In the left, we have the real environment, the real world. In the right, we have the virtual environment, the virtual world. This is one of the virtual, the immersive technologies, the virtual reality. When everything is virtual, nothing is real. Okay, we also have the augmented reality where virtuality overlaps the reality. So the more clear example is Pokemon Go. In addition, we have augmented virtuality where the reality overlaps in something virtual. So it is very, very interesting as well. Here in this paper, we connect something that we call pure mixed reality when everything looks like real. So you cannot distinguish what is real and what is not. Okay? This is very, very important because those kind of technologies allow us to support, to make more easy to take decisions, because it is clear that those kind of things you can see in the video, that it reduces the cognitive effort that we need to do in order to take a decision. Is this clear? I understand. Is more clear now? Okay, because the hearing is not existing. Okay, so this lady is taking a decision based mainly on the possibilities provided by augmented reality. This is something that it's very, very interesting, which allows us to publish very, very interesting papers. But also, let me tell you that it is something that it is real, okay? Because there are even studies that says that the cows are having better milk when they are relaxed with this kind of devices. Okay. Definitely, those kind of technologies are changing the way in which we relate with the customer, and definitely the industry of travel, the industry of tourism is one of the most significant industries being affected by all those changes. In any case, it's going to be affected all the way in which communicate. It's like mobile phone, it's like the internet. Who of you have one of those in the pocket? Okay. everybody, okay? Definitely, those kind of technologies allow us to establish new point of contact, allow us to increase the core experiences that we are developing, but also they allow us to develop new experiences across all these contexts that allow us to develop a different and more interesting relation with the experience, with the consumer, with the company. Okay, so finally, to finish my presentation, I would like to highlight that the changes are going to be done in all the stages of the process. So before the trip, during the trip, or even after the trip. Okay, so I'm not going to project this video, but in this video, it's very interesting because they show you how are you going to experience situations if you plan to go to the Everest. And they say, one of the things that they say is that helicopters don't go beyond 8,000 meters, okay? The helicopters cannot rescue you if you have a problem, so think twice, okay? In this other video, of course, we can use all those kind of devices in order to provide additional information to the consumer in the museum, or even you can record 360 degrees video, because so many frequently we go to a travel, there is something that we cannot catch our attention to this, and later on watching this information we can have a more clear picture of what has been happening here. Okay, so definitely all those technologies are going to be very, very interesting to prepare the trip, to search for information, even to pay, to visit places that do not exist. We can be back 2,000 years ago. We can go to the moon, to Mars, and definitely we cannot go in reality. We can visit very, very distant places. We can have better information before the travel because we do not know what can we expect when we go there. But if we have all this information, we have a more clear picture what are we going to expect there, okay? And definitely we can visit because after the travel, because the travel is not the moment in which you are traveling. The travel is when you remember those kind of things that it has been happening and we have been enjoying so much. Definitely this is the door entrance to the metaverse. We organized an international conference that it became very, very international as a result as we are using the metaverse, okay? The metaverse offers very, very interesting possibilities of interaction in terms of accessibility, in terms of cost saving, in terms of immersive presentations, original networking. This year we this year we made face-to-face this conference. We have problems because many people could not have the passport or the visa to enter to Spain. And this is a problem, okay? When you are addressing a global community, and of course, people coming from New Zealand, from Australia, many countries of Asia could not travel because the traveling, or the cost of traveling is very, very important. And definitely, the metaverse will provide very, very interesting possibilities of engagement, okay? So let me summarize the advantage saying that the advantage is that you can enjoy the experience whenever you want. You will have unlimited access. You do not need to travel. That's clear that if we do not travel, we cannot taste the fantastic food that you have here, the fantastic weather that you have here. So there are some limitations as well, okay? You can go beyond the reality. You can reduce environmental pollution. It's more sustainable activity. Definitely, it is not a real experience. It's only a copy of the real experience. Lacks some senses, as I say before, in terms of touch, in terms of smell, in terms of taste, okay? So you cannot experience all those activities which are fantastic, okay? Definitely something is changing. Definitely we need to develop the tools in order to be more appropriate because of course you cannot stay 24 hours with those kind of devices because people is not used to. Okay, so I hope I can have an interesting picture of some of the ways in which everything is going to changing. Definitely, I hope we can see these changes very soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you a lot. Very brilliant, presentation, Carlos. So probably most of you, are thinking about the metaverse. So later on, we have an opportunity to have a different question for him. Jacques, welcome.
Okay, so while... Hi, good morning. Yes?
Yes, go ahead.
While the presentation is uploaded, I would like to say a couple of things. First, sorry for arriving late. Yes. It is not my fault, it's Eduardo's fault. And I would explain why it's Eduardo's fault, because Eduardo told us the first day that one of the indicators of the conference was sustainable mobility. So today I knew I was slightly late. I passed just in front of the taxis, and I was going to get one. And I said, no way, I'll take the tranvia. Even if there's a slight strike that makes it go a bit slower, not so frequent, I'll take the tranvia, because Eduardo told us to be sustainable. Well, that's a big lie. In the end, it's my fault, obviously, for not leaving before the hotel. But in any case, I want to say this. I want to say thank you to Eduardo first for the invitation. Of course, it's always a pleasure to be here. And for organizing this conference. I think we had a wonderful day today. And everything looks like today we're also going to have a probably even better day. So thank you very much, Eduardo, and all of your team, of course. Great. So we're in the Canary Islands. So let me tell you how AI or how technologies and digitalization are transforming the tourism sector. Probably a little bit from our perspective of a mass tourism destination. Okay. So I'm not going to be very extensive. Some of the things that I'm going to speak about would maybe require a bit more of time, but I'm just going to try to give an overview of the process. Who I am, I'm a professor at the University of Las Palmas, so very close to here. And two things from that slide. As Eduardo said, I'm the president of IFTT, which I will mention in the next slide. And I define myself to be a techno-realist. What do I mean? I mean that today we have a lot of cross messages. Some messages say that technology is going to make us better humans, it's going to make us be happy the whole day, it's going to be wonderful. Other perspectives tell us that technologies are basically the evil, and technologies only bring problems to humans. Carlos just now has shown us how technologies have good things and not so good things. So I think we need to have a balanced perspective and approach to technologies. And I like to do that. I like to look at the good things, but also take a look also at the potential problems or trouble we may have. So this is the organization that I'm currently the president, IFTT, the International Federation for IT in Travel and Tourism. So if you are interested in digital technologies in tourism, please come join us. We will have our conference next year, February, in Poland, organized by the well-unknown person, Dimitrios Bouhalis, who I'm sure every one of you know him. He's organizing, he's the chair of the conference, so come and join us. I think he's putting together a wonderful conference. On to what I was going to speak today. Where do we come from? We come from a type of tourism that before the internet only allowed very, very massive products to arrive to the market. What does this mean? This means basically a product that would fit perfectly in a tourist catalog. So you went to a travel agency, and in the travel agency you would search, you would take a look and see the hotels or the alternatives, you would choose one of them, and that would be the way that most people would do tourism in those days. Could you have different products? Yes, you could, but your arrival to the market, your possibilities of arriving to markets were extremely limited. So you were trying to exchange a house, you could exchange with your acquaintances, with the people you had around, and basically that was it. Okay? So only mass products arrived to the market. Of course, what happens? That when the customer, and this we perfectly know, when the customer has no information, what happens? Can anyone tell me if there's any significant difference between those two products? These are two tourism products, which I'm sure if you were in a travel agency and you had to choose between these two, not big differences, no? They're very similar. The only problem is that one of them is in Spain and the other one is in Dominican Republic. So products were extremely standardized because we believed this, or everyone believed that this is what customers wanted, or this is the only way that we could arrive to customers. So everything became a commodity. Everything became a commodity means the only differentiation was price-wise. Price was the only thing that would make a customer decide if to choose product A or product B. In this sense, and during all these years, destinations, we in the Canary Islands, but most destinations around the world, became white label destinations. What does that mean? It means that we were able to produce tourism, but we didn't know how to sell tourism. We didn't know how to commercialize. We didn't know how to approach the markets. That was done by tour operators and travel agencies. During the internet era, digital tourism, e-tourism, the big change that happened is that with the existence of the internet, the whole dynamics of the sector changed. And those are the changes that more or less I think we can all agree that happened, and every one of us can probably mention other changes or other things. Of course, new actors and agents, new destinations, the low-cost phenomenon, e-warm, and even what we've called platform tourism with Booking, Google, Airbnb, etc., which were just mentioned by Carlos. No? This is basically what we have seen, and in this sense, destinations changed significantly. And if you, Jose Juan from Promotur is around, and he was telling me all the competencies that they have now in the process of digital marketing and how destinations have had to evolve, obviously, and improve their commercialization capabilities. Now we move on to AI. And as Dimitrios said yesterday, I also believe AI is not just one more advancement in technology, it's not just one step further. It's a much bigger change. As he was saying yesterday, we are passing from a model in which technologies helped us in decision making to a process in which technologies will almost make the decision for us. And that is probably the biggest change that we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years in every aspect of the economy, and tourism, of course, will be one of them. Currently, we are extremely focused in the area of generative AI, and that is the buzzword today. But we should not forget that AI and the AI ecosystem is much bigger, and we will see the system developing in the next few years. We're just starting to see the first AI applications. One clear thing that happens always is that with technology, sometimes we tend to think that one advancement is going to replace the previous model. And what we have seen in the end is that this does not happen. Today you arrive at when you get home, sometimes you want to watch Netflix, sometimes you watch the TV, sometimes you go out to the cinema, sometimes you watch the radio, you listen to the radio, sorry. With tourism, the same thing. There's still people that want to go to a travel agency and get a package to the Canary Islands for 1 week. I don't want to think during the week, I just want to go there, stay at a hotel and have a good time. That's perfectly fine. We also have digital tourism happening, we have platform tourism happening, and we have AI tourism just starting to happen. What has happened there? That in AI, for some time, when I studied computer sciences, AI was a model in which we tried to put the knowledge into the algorithms. Okay, so we spoke about expert systems, we spoke about case-based reasoning and this kind of things. Today, the focus has changed completely, and currently everything is based on data. On the data that we have, we put into the systems, and the systems learn. From there, the concept of machine learning, the system learns and improves its recommendations, and the process it develops. What does that mean? It means that in the end, we need data. Without data, none of this will work. And in Europe, for example, we have a wonderful AI law, but we don't have a data law. So we don't have a way of being able, as a final user, to say, I have my data in obviously not in a USB, but I have it in a cloud. This is my data. I can do things with it. I can, and I can train algorithms that will then give me the input or the recommendations that I want. And this is something that we don't have solved currently. Final situation, when we put together data, AI, the personalization algorithms, the development of new products, this means that in the end, from the idea that we had before that everyone experienced the same kind of tourism, what we expect is that slowly, every tourist will be able to configure their experience, their destination, their travel. So two of you that come here to Tenerife to the same conference will have a completely different experience, but not because you have dedicated a huge amount of time to the preparation, but because the systems are able to help you in the process of designing a perfectly fit experience for your desires. Which means that in the end, from having this mass type of tourism, what we will have is a huge amount, a much bigger amount of many different types of tourism. This is what we expect that will happen in the next few years. Two very short notes to end, and I'm sorry if I'm slightly above my time, but I think there were two messages I would like to finish by sending. This perspective is one that I think we will see deploying in the next years. One very important thing, we are in the process of analyzing how AI and robotics can impact employment, especially in the tourism sector. Of course, as you can imagine, here in the Canary Islands, the amount of employment that comes from tourism is huge. In the last year, 2023, approximately 1/5, one of every 5 contracts in the Canary Islands, of contracts in the Canary Islands in total, 1 out of 5 were for chambermaids in hotels. Okay, so you can imagine the size of the workforce. We are starting to study if technologies could replace human workers, and if this can be a major threat to the destination. Up to now, what we have found is that, and I'm saying thank God, chambermaid of hotels do up to 50 different micro tasks, and up to now, 2024, this doesn't mean that maybe next year things will have changed. We have not been able to find technologies that are really able to do many of these tasks. So up to now, it seems there can be some indicia of partial automation, but at least in theory, it doesn't seem like this is something that is going to happen in the next few years, but it's something that we want to monitor closely. Second, an article we just published in Dimitrios's journal, in Tourism Review, in which what we prove is that, as you can see from the title, in regions in which there is a higher amount of tourism development, and I think this is relevant with the debate that we have currently in the Canary Islands and in every major tourism destination, tourism development is not, and I want to stress the word not, is not associated. We don't have causation, we have association. It's not associated with lower quality of employment at the destination. Okay? There are many reasons. The paper is extensive. I don't want to do a summary to it now because I would take much more of the time that I have available. But this is one thing that we know already, is that regions with a higher amount of tourism do not have systematically a lower quality of employment. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry if I took a bit more time. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for both. So we open a few minutes to discuss with both, participants, both keynote speakers. So we open any question. Any technology question. So, yes, there.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Irena Travar from the University of La Laguna. I have some questions for maybe both keynote speakers. You talked about big companies like Uber or Airbnb that dominate the tourism market. But my question is related, how can an individual, for example, a tourism entrepreneur, get into the market? What are possibilities maybe of some small companies? Because of course, now the market is dominated by very big companies. So where can small companies see their opportunities? So some local companies, because we talk about sustainable tourism, we talk about sustainability, about supporting local economies. So where are local economies in all this global market?
Okay, thank you. Very, very interesting question and appropriate for this context. So definitely we have been highlighted the position of big companies, but I think we have to face the changes that we are experiencing in Industry 4.0 are going to be very, very similar to the changes that we experienced in the third revolution, so with the development of internet. I remember that at the beginning when the internet has been developed, so the idea was, well, everyone can act local and have a global impact thanks to this, okay? So the changes, which are the main changes now? So the changes is that, especially artificial intelligence, is going to allow you to multiply the capacity of doing things very, very substantially. And we are going to a more segmented market. So the important point is that an individual having a company can have the possibilities of having the great idea of create unique experiences, taking advantage of the possibilities being offered by artificial intelligence. Some people say that as a result of the development of artificial intelligence and the reduction of activities being done by humans, so quite probably people say that it will be possible to create companies with what's only one person having the possibility of having a great amount of sales. I don't know if they were saying 100 millions or something like that, okay? It is now possible as a result of the possibilities being offered by artificial intelligence. My suggestion is to take advantage as soon as possible, because also the technology will multiply the effects of big companies. But if you are good enough in order to position yourself as the first mover in something, and you create a brand, you will have a very, very good position that will be very, very difficult taken out by big companies.
Thank you.
I think one of the things, there's an article we published that the one Dimitrios showed yesterday, and one of the things that we mentioned there is, and I come today with what I spoke about the need for data. And I think one of the opportunities, so the answer to your question would be highly dependent in the area in which you're trying to develop a business, okay? So obviously if you're trying to compete with booking, unless you're able to find a very niche market in which booking is not arriving, and for example, booking tried to move into sustainable green travel or something like that, now they've taken it away because it didn't make sense. So I think there are some small, very small opportunities in which you have to be very good to find them, but it's extremely difficult. But I think one of the areas in which small companies can thrive is with the connection with other small companies. And I think there is where destinations and public administration have a key role in trying to put together companies that are doing similar things so that can benefit one from the others. We should not forget, and I always come back to my own book, that is data. We should not forget that we have all these massive companies, and for example, we have Booking, but Booking knows absolutely nothing about what the tourist does at the destination. So once they enter the hotel, they have lost track. And that is something that only the business is at the destination. Google, of course, you have your mobile with you, so has a bit of data, but the companies at the destination, all the destinations as such, can have a bit of data there. So maybe there could be a chance, and of course, as Carlos was saying, artificial intelligence is the next promise, but once again, there we are seeing huge companies that are the ones that are already cornering the market. So it's it's not going to be easy unless you're very, very, very innovative and you're able to find an idea in which no one has really, over what we have already. You're able to find one small vertical, one small horizontal, in which you can be really differentiated. So, yeah, difficult, very difficult.
Thank you, Jacques. Carlos, we have another question there. There.
This question for Flavian. Hello. This is a question for Mr. Flavian. Talking about metaverse. I mean, we heard about virtual reality like 10, 15 years ago, and then stops. No one talk about in the newspapers, etc. Then now arrived the metaverse. Everybody was talking about metaverse, and now it looks like stop. Or even the Mark Zuckerberg give a step back. Now everybody's focusing on artificial intelligence. So, what do you think about metaverse? Is it the time now, or maybe we have to wait another 5, 10 years to to be developed?
Yeah, a very, very interesting question. So definitely, I like new technologies, and I really like your name. You say you are a realistic of technologies or something like that?
Techno-realist.
Techno-realist. I'm also a techno-realist, okay, I can use this. I focus in technology which is really giving a value and what is with us now, okay? So in general, we have been talking about very, very different things, and definitely there has been a very, very important interest for this. As we are in private, I can tell you that definitely I believe that the progression of the metaverse has been arising as a problems of Meta, who has changed the name from Facebook to Meta, and they have been highlighting everything. But on those times when all the people was asking me for conferences on the metaverse, I was thinking that this is something that we will have in 30 years' time, 20 years' time, more like this, okay? But the virtual reality is a reality now. Augmented reality is a reality now. The possibilities of generative AI is a possibility now, okay? And definitely, I think it's still a theoretical concept, and the talk that I used to do on this is highlighting what do we need to do in order to achieve the real metaverse. Talking about the heads, which you cannot buy, everybody cannot buy a device of 400 euros at least, okay, which is 400 grains. Sometimes you became ill and these kind of things. I think that definitely is a theoretical concept, okay, that quite probably in 20, 30 years' time, perhaps the AI, the general AI arrives before than the metaverse, but the metaverse is still a theoretical concept that can establish very, very interesting links. I can tell you that I have many, many friends from Australia, from New Zealand. Sometimes when I meet the people, I realize that I do not know those people because they are taller than I. Okay, I have been always talking online, okay, but we have so frequent relationship, but we do not realize that we have so limited contact. So please give an opportunity to the conversations that we can develop online and so on. And definitely, I think this is also something that can increase our capacity. For example, there are interesting studies highlighting, we also research on the user experience behind robots. There are interesting studies in which people in a hospital were taking the clothes off. When there is a machine which was clearly that there was a machine, people do not react, not have any problem. But when the machine was clearly a robot with eyes, ears, and so on, people don't want to take the clothes off, okay? Because they think, well, I'm in front of something else. I'm in front of a personality here, okay?
One question more. Any question there? We have a question there. Thinking, Carlos, and before to close the session, thinking, look, the title of the Congress is Think in the Future, Create Now. So try in a minute to translate, the audience, 2 or 3 different tips to research in the future, but later on. Question.
Hello, yes, this is a question to Jacques Bulchand. You said in the last part of your presentation that not always that if a touristic destination develops, that's not linked to a low quality of jobs. But it seems different in Canary Islands. The public opinion says you hear that it's a connection, always the same connection. Why do you say this, and how could you explain about this?
Yeah, but easy. Now, what we found, and this is not very important to, it's data. I mean, it's objective data that we've used, and we've taken data to see how the relationship between the quality of employment and tourism development. This does not mean, we're not saying that tourism development does not generate low or high quality employment. This is not what we're saying. We're saying that there's not a connection between the 2 variables. Why? Because we also have to think that when tourism development grows, there's also the creation of jobs in other sectors that are parallel to the tourism sector, in which maybe the quality of employment is not so low. We also have to take into account, and this was said yesterday also, people always say about the low quality of employment in tourism, and this is something that in some areas at least we need to acknowledge. But we also have to take into account the alternatives that you may find, okay? So, we maybe say we don't have a very high quality of employment in certain posts in the tourism sector, and this we know, and we can probably agree on that. But if we didn't have tourism, what would the alternative be? Probably the quality of employment would be even lower. Once again, this was done with, I think, and I'm sure, I don't want to make any mistakes with this, but I think it was 160 regions of Europe in 2 waves of the European Working Quality Survey. So I think the sample is large enough to be at least kind of sure that the data is robust. And once again, we were not able to study, and we don't have that. We don't have causation, we have the correlation. So we know that high tourism development is not associated with low quality of employment. If you want the paper, I can send it, and you can see there the detail of the
Okay. I will be pleased if you
send of course.
Thank you.
Sure.
So many questions, and it's necessary to work in terms of, collaborating all of us, it's necessary to have to look at the future in terms of opportunities. So it's necessary, that's why, that's the Global Summit want to work in that, so to build different bridge where all of the academia and professional have the opportunity to have an encounter and to discuss the future. So that's many questions. In a minute, please, 2 or 3 different tips from technology in the future, thinking what's research,
More than 3. Just focus the attention in how the use of immersive technology, that means virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and so on, change our perception of experiences. How do we interpret the reality, how do we react, and how do we interact? And especially important, the combination of stimulus between different senses, because sometimes using one sense you can impact in the other sense, like the people who has this kind of possibility of having interconnected senses. I think you have a fantastic opportunity to research there.
3.
Go.
Data. We have a huge opportunity, because we are seeing that where there's data, the AI algorithms progress exponentially. We can now debate if OpenAI did right taking the New York Times articles or not, and that could be another debate that would take another 45 minutes to 1 hour, so let's forget about it just for 2 minutes. But we have a huge opportunity in tourism. No one has the data of the tourists at the destination. No one. Only the tourism operators, destinations, organizations. Let's get together. We have to, and as researchers, we need to develop what is the framework, under which circumstances would people be agreeable to give their data? How can we do it? And then we can develop the sector. If we want to arrive to a situation in which we can give a good recommendation to a tourist, we will not be able to do that without good data. And giving good recommendations will probably, and this is just an opinion without scientific base, but let me give it since I'm here. When we have good data, when we're able to give good recommendations, probably what we'll find is that tourists will go to many more different places at the destination, that the distribution of expenditure will be much better. It's just a free idea. I don't know if it's true or not. We haven't checked it. But at least let's try it. Because if not, they're going to go to the same products always. And that means that everyone's going to the same theme park, to the same cathedral, to the same, which means we don't have distribution, we don't have, and then we have all the other problems. So,
tips, data. Data is the solution. Okay. Thank you a lot. Thank you, Jacques. Thank you, Carlos. Amazing to have these both, researchers of Spain, the academia, helping us and, telling the future. Thank you. A big applause for them.
Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you, Carlos.